I think the markets have given us a gift over the past few months. I wonder if you even noticed it. Most people haven't. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Have a look at this chart. Everything looks pretty good, right? This chart goes back to April. Since then, early April, the NASDAQ is up 36%, the S&P 500 up 27%, the TSX up over 24%, the Dow Jones up around 17%. So it really, really feels right now like it's pretty smooth sailing. If you are feeling comfortable right now, you're certainly not alone. You're part of a large group. But here's one thing. Only a few short months ago, the chart looked very different. Remember this? This is a 2-month chart from early February to early April this year. The overall trend is down. You can see the losses on the right-hand side there. But I want you to really focus on that sharp drop the first few days of April. Each of the markets here were down more than 10% that week from April 2nd to April the 8th. The markets were absolutely collapsing. You probably recall the anxiety was rising. For a lot of investors, and especially newer ones, this was their first real emotional test as an investor. Now, when we look back today, it's pretty easy to forget how we felt at that time, but that's exactly why today is the perfect time to ask the question, what did that correction teach you about your emotions, about your risk tolerance, and how you react when things get rough? Let's talk about that in today's video. So just a few months ago, a lot of investors were freaking out. Some people sort of internalized that. They were quietly being anxious. Others, they put it out in full display. On that note, if you are not on the Blossom Social app yet, this is a great time to give it a try. You can join for free and see what over 400,000 other DIY investors are saying. But back to the spring, pretty much everywhere you look, the advice was the same. Stay calm, don't panic, everything will be okay, and it'll all come back. And here we are today. It did. This chart shows the full time frame, sharp drop, strong recovery. But let me ask you again, do you even remember how you felt back when the shares were dropping so sharply? And the purpose of this video here isn't about predicting markets. That is really tough, probably impossible in the short term. This video is about understanding yourself as an investor. And I thought back during that crash to a client that I worked with back in early March 2020 when COVID hit. And I'm just going to call him Mike for the purposes here. He panicked. He sold off his entire equity portfolio after he read some headlines. And it was the perfect example to me of how the media isn't your friend. It isn't designed to help you invest. It's designed to help keep you watching. And of course, fear sells. And he felt a lot of fear. So we talked about it a lot. He thought about it, but I couldn't convince him to stay in the markets. And after all, this is his money. So what he did was he literally sold off everything and he put it into cash at his bank. Now today, I can only imagine that he's probably kicking himself because that decision, that cost him tens of thousands of dollars, not because the market dropped, but because of the recovery that he missed. So let's stay focused on February when things got rocky and ask the question that every long-term investor should reflect on right now. What did you learn when the markets dropped? Today, your portfolio probably looks pretty good. Hopefully, probably even better than it did earlier this year. So it is easy to feel confident. It's probably, if you believe in the markets always come back, you might feel a little bit invincible right now. But what did the correction teach you? I want to talk about the emotional side of investing. Now, obviously, everyone is different, but a lot of investors can sort of be categorized into certain groups. I'm going to call the first group the panicker. And this is sort of people who have an emotional reaction. They are fear-driven. They have high anxiety. And a typical behavior when the markets drop is that they're going to sell and they're going to stop the bleeding. They just get to a point where they can't take it anymore. And literally, they're afraid they might lose all of their money. What happens? The risks of this, they lock in their losses. They often sell near the bottom. And then, of course, they miss the recovery. That was my client. The second category is the person who just freezes. They're overwhelmed. They're unsure what to do. And in their typical behavior, they do nothing. They don't do it because that's their strategy, but because of indecision. And their mindset is, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to sit there and wait. The risk here is that paralysis can lead to missed opportunities or even delayed damage control if you don't have that strategy. Now, there's also the opportunist, and this is a calm, calculated person. Typical behavior here is that they're going to buy during the dip or they're going to rebalance their portfolio. Mindset there is that this is a long-term discount if they're long-term investors, but the risk there is that they can overestimate their tolerance, or they can even try and time the bottom. We all know how difficult that can be. The fourth type of investor is someone with more of a steady hand, and they react slightly concerned, but they stay focused. And a typical behavior here, they stick to their plan, they continue their regular contributions. Dollar cost averaging is very common there. They avoid any rash decisions. Their mindset is volatility is part of this journey. Now, of course, they may miss some tactical opportunities, but generally they're going to come out ahead in the long term. So when we think back to March and April, what type of investor were you back then? Did you feel calm? Did you feel anxious? Were you tempted to sell? Did you avoid checking your accounts altogether? Did you jump in and buy more at the time? Did you just keep up with your regular dollar cost averaging program going, if that's what you have? However you reacted at that moment, listen to yourself. That actually says a lot about your true tolerance for risk. When I was working with clients, we used to have to do questionnaires when we did an intake, sort of part of the know your client process. You may have done one of these if you've worked with an advisor. You sit down, you check off a form, you're in the office, there's no pressure, but timing on this is critical. That's where we are today. It is easy to feel confident when the markets have gone up. It's normal to feel anxiety when the markets have fallen. So when you look at those sort of tick off the box things, those are really woefully inadequate. You really need to be making the decisions now that will affect you the next time we happen to have a correction. So when we think back to the spring of this year, maybe you did learn at the time that your portfolio wasn't quite aligned with your true comfort level that you learned at that time. Perhaps you discovered that you're more resilient than you even expected. Maybe the market drop didn't affect you at all. Either way, whichever side of the spectrum you fall on there, that is very, very powerful self-knowledge. I always say knowledge is power. So to know what you are as an investor, how you would react, you can't put a price on that, really. Every correction that we have is a chance to become more self-aware as an investor. Now, here are a couple of ideas I can throw out that I used to use with my clients to help them during times like that. The most important, I think, was to have a journal. Write down how you felt in April and how you want to respond next time that comes around, because, of course, it will. Also, consider setting up sort of an emotional emergency plan. The next time we have a correction, write a note to yourself that you can reflect back on at that time, or set a rule that you have for yourself that you won't be having to make an emotional decision at the time. Sort of figure out now what your parameters are while you're feeling good now, not in a moment of anxiety. Also, review your asset allocation just to see if it still matches your own comfort level. Now, if you are new to investing, this was your first real drop. Congratulations for that. You have now been through your first emotional test. Now you know what it feels like to be experiencing a correction, to be in the red. You've also seen, thankfully, what a recovery looks like. So this experience will serve you well if you apply it. But before you move on, take a moment. Remember that uneasy feeling that you felt back in April. Do you even remember it today? Or has it just faded into history? It's normal to move past the trauma. In fact, it's healthy. But if we forget too quickly, we miss the lesson there. So ask yourself, what did I learn? Did I react emotionally, or did I stick to my plan? Did I make any adjustments? Now, maybe you changed your asset mix, learning more about yourself. Maybe you added a bit of cash to increase your peace of mind, or maybe you didn't even change your portfolio at all, but you changed your behavior, like checking your balance less often. If you checked your balance 5 times a day back in April, hey, we've all been there. All of these things matter. And the next time the market drops, how are you going to show up? What are you going to do differently? Start thinking about that now, because you're probably not going to have a lot of time when it actually hits. But we know it will. Remember, of course, that corrections are absolutely normal. Crashes are part of the process. And the goal isn't to avoid them. We really can't do that. It's more to be ready, to be prepared for them. And that means building a plan. That means understanding yourself. And it means making these adjustments when the markets are calm, like right now. So let me say this, that spring correction that we saw, it was a gift if you paid attention. It gave you real world feedback on your emotions, on your risk tolerances, and probably most importantly, on your behavior under pressure. That is something that you cannot learn by looking at a chart. You need to actually live through it. Now, what was your biggest takeaway from the spring crash? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If this video helped you reflect a little bit, give it a like, share it with someone perhaps who went through that dip with you. As always, I say thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.